So you know that thing that people do in movies where they have this speech that they've prepared for months and months and months, and they're like, oh man, I have so much work to do to prepare and lead up to this big moment that's within the movie, and they finally get up to the podium and they just decide to throw the whole thing out. And they're like, I really want to speak from the heart. Well, I've decided that's what I'm going to do. I did have my own little speech prepared with, a lot of things here and there written out, carefully planned out, everything. I was watching this video the other night, and this person was basically talking about what I want to do, which is leave their full-time day job in pursuit of their passion. And of course I was just like, oh my god, because I've wanted to do this for a decade, to be honest. I was watching her video, she was telling her story, and there was just this thing that stuck with me, and it honestly made me tear up while I was watching it. She was saying, well, I'm just gonna take this big deep dive into the unknown, and what if it all works out? That honestly just got me right here, because that's what I'm striving for, and that's all I can hope will happen. As I mentioned, I had this big speech prepared, and then I was just after watching that video, I was like, you know what? I really just want to speak directly and genuinely. That's just who I am. And I think it's the best way to be authentic and communicate my message to you. Yeah, I can't iterate enough how important this is to me. And I know it's important to me more than anyone else, but I cannot express that enough. Every fiber of my being, every single bone in my body needs this so deeply. So I also wanted to highlight things that your donation would be contributing to for this business. That includes things like sustainable efforts, which means we will be collecting rainwater as well as collecting water from a nearby creek to work as our irrigation system on the farm. We also will be using a local business for compost, Enrich Compost, if you're familiar. They're career-owned, fantastic. So they're going to be helping us with, providing nutrients for the soil. We will have a beehive on the farm as well to really help contribute to the bee population, and we will have a lot of pollinator flowers as well, so that they have a very, symbiotic relationship. And then one of the main things that is so deeply important to me is green witch practices. It's a big part of who I am, and I started really looking into that honestly around the same time as I started gardening. I just was drawn to nature, and honestly I've always been drawn to nature. I mean, even when I was a kid, I was always outside playing with bugs and I still do. The herbalism aspect of it and the historical part of it is so important to me, and I think that this business could be used as a tool for educating others about the importance of herbalism and the history behind it. A lot of witchcraft nowadays that is practiced comes from paganism in Europe. I also think it's also very important to highlight and acknowledge the history of the Native American community that is tied to herbalism as well. We have them to thank for a lot of herbalist practices and knowledge on plant benefits. So that is something that I really want to really bring into focus with my business as well. Also, Wheel of the Year holidays are another huge important aspect to witchcraft practices. If you're not familiar, essentially a lot of these holidays fall on the turn of the season, and a lot of it has to do with celebrating your harvest. So I'm thinking, oh man, flower farm, perfect. But seriously, like it's such a great celebratory thing to do at the turn of the season. Usually it involves like making baked goods or sitting around a fire or basket making, which I love doing, or making teas. It can be a number of things. It's really like your personal preference as far as that is concerned. But one other thing I really wanted to stop and highlight is you're going to be helping us as a family to move forward and sustain ourselves. And I don't just mean myself and Andrew. We actually have a baby on the way, so very excited about that. So I'm due in April, and we honestly couldn't be more thrilled. So any of your contributions is really going to even help just, getting established with a new family member. We like to call them our tiny overlord. But I also wanted to highlight the importance of the fact that I'm going to be one of the only queer-owned flower farms in the state of Virginia. There is one other one, for a fact. That's the Freckled Flower Farm. But that's one of two. I mean, that's another big reason why your contribution would be so valuable to me. But, more importantly is even just all the equipment and the tools that we're gonna need. I'm gonna be purchasing a new shed. I have a lot of friends and family to thank for helping out demolishing the old shed on the property. It was a lot of fun. And it took a lot of work, so I really have you guys to thank for all of that, and you know who you are, but I really appreciate your help with that. But in addition to a new shed, there's going to be a cooler that we build inside the shed. We're going to have a seed starting station, a commercial supply of seeds and bare roots. There's so many other things, honestly. So I'll definitely provide that list so you can see exactly what your contribution is going towards, apart from this mission. The other thing I wanted to highlight is with this crowdfunding campaign, there will be a lot of gifts and handmade items that you can purchase. That will include workshops for making either a centerpiece or a wreath. There will be handmade wreaths as well. You can either do a custom one, or I will have pentagram and pentacle wreaths available for Samhain / Halloween. Very excited about those. They look awesome. Then, of course, I will have holiday wreaths, so that'll be for your celebration of either Yule or Christmas, whichever you prefer. But in addition to that, There will be handmade baskets, which are being supplied by Wisteria Vine that is trying to take over my backyard. So I kind of found the silver lining in this invasive plant, and I'm making baskets out of it. They are beautiful looking. One would even say heirloom quality, and they come in many shapes and sizes. So I can't wait to share those with you as well. Oh, and lastly, I can't forget to highlight this. We do have a t-shirt campaign that's coming soon. It may have already launched by the time you see this video, but it's one of my favorite things. I'm working with local tattoo artist Katie Davis from Salvation Tattoo, and she has done a fantastic job of creating this beautiful witchy design for the t-shirt. So definitely be on the lookout for those as well. But I also just wanted to highlight, you're going to be putting a lot towards the community. This is not just about me, but it's what I can provide for you all and what I can provide for others as well. Essentially what I mean by that is, it's not just fresh cut flowers and centerpieces and wreaths. That's definitely a big part of it. But I will be working alongside a number of other local businesses who they will be getting my support thanks to you. It really does sort of pave the way for, supporting the community. But additionally, I also want to be able to employ staff eventually. Definitely want to make queer and POC folks a priority. Just any way I can really help support the community and show up for others is so valuable to who I am, and it's just a big part of who I am, honestly. So this is really the one time that I'm asking for your help. I hate asking for help, if I'm honest. But I try to do a lot to help others out and show up for whoever needs it. And I'm asking you if you can show up for me this time. This will be the one time I really ever do that. So any and all support is truly, truly and deeply appreciated. And so I'm also going to end this video with a movie trope, or like I did in the beginning of the video. So you know how there's often a trope where the main character is in this heated battle and they're like, oh my god, this is really hard. Obviously that's what they're saying while they're fighting, but you can tell they're getting worn out, and you're starting to question whether or not they're gonna make it, and you're just like, oh man, like what's gonna happen? Well, then suddenly like the cavalry comes through and they're like, oh, we got you, dude. So I'm the main character and I need you to be the cavalry. So as I just cannot express enough how much your help is going to mean to me. I truly can't. I'm seriously grateful for anything that you can offer. So thank you for listening to me babble. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much.